Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning, good afternoon, or even good evening. Time you watch this video. So this is the first material for grammar. In this recording, I will try to explain um, about one part of speech. So in English, we have four major parts of speech. First one is noun. Next is verb, and then adjective, and then adverbs. So the first part of speech that you will learn for grammar is noun, and noun is considered as one of how to say has a lot of uh, varieties in English, I think. And there are a number of things that you need to know about nouns. So for this recording, you will learn um, three things, I believe. What noun is, and then some types of nouns, and then some terms that strongly related, connected to nouns, which are singular and plural nouns. We also have, you also will learn about countable and uncountable nouns. And the last thing, subtopic is related to plural nouns, as in English it may have regular and irregular forms. So let's just start. What you can learn about nouns. So nouns are words that name people, places, and things. Okay, so it identifies any people, places, things, or ideas. It can be concrete, it can be abstract. Okay, as one of the fundamental building blocks of language. They allow us to identify and discuss everything in our world, from tangible objects like book and tree to intangible ideas like freedom and happiness. Without nouns, language would lack the essential tools to label and describe subjects and objects of our sentences. So, if you see in this definition, you know that sorry, in sentences, subnouns are used as subject and object, and these are very essential to give meanings in your sentence. So if your sentence has no subject or object, then your listener or your reader will not be able to understand the message that you want to say or to express in your sentence. So make sure to learn, understand a lot about these nouns because it's very important in your uh, language skills. Next, so the two important essential terms that you have to learn related nouns are singular and plural. Okay, so in singular, nouns refer to one person, place, thing, or idea, while plural nouns refer to more than one person, place, thing, or idea, even if the number is only two. So in Indonesian, I think you usually listen or know the word tunggal dan jamak. Yeah, so tunggal means singular, jamak means plural. Plural means more than one, but it's not necessarily many. As long as it's more than one, it is plural. Even it's only two, even if they are only two. Okay, so please do not think like plural itu banyak. So plural means jamak. Jamak means more than one. Okay, so for example, singular words, singular nouns, book, child, apple, while for plural, there are books, children, apples. So the example in singular, you can see the difference. Okay, so you will learn how to form this plural forms later. Next, now related to singular and plural nouns, you have to remember that in sentences, when you write a sentence, there should be some kind of agreement between subject and verb. So at the first slide, on the first slide, I mentioned that nouns are essential in sentences because they can become the subject or the object, right? So if the nouns are the subject of the sentence, then it must match with the verbs. Okay, that's what we call subject verb agreement. You will learn more details about this one on the next slides, on the next meeting. Okay, so example, you can see second sentences on the box. The first sentence says, she eats breakfast every day. Second, they eat breakfast every day. On the first example, the subject is she, which means singular, right? While for the second sentence, the subject is they. So here you can see it here. And they means more than one, right? Because they means mereka. And it is in the form of plural. And you see that if the subject is singular, then the verb will be added by s. That's why the verb, sorry. So the verb is not eat, but it's. Okay. While for the second one, because it's plural, then the verb is just in the base form. There is no additional affix to the verb. Okay, if you ask what is affix itu dalam bahasa Indonesia we call it imbuhan. Okay. Now there is note that you have to pay attention. You have to remember that some nouns can be singular or plural. Most of the time, the nouns can be singular, can be plural. This it depends on the quantifier or the sentence that you make. Okay. However, others only have a singular form, like the word furniture or information. You never have the plural form of this one, and or plural form, like scissors or pens. You never say a scissor or you never say a pen because these two words are always in plural. It is the contrast of furniture and information that are always in singular form. We will learn about this one later, but you just have to remember that again, nouns can be plural or singular. It depends on the context. However, there are some nouns that can be only singular or plural form. Okay. Now, there are what we call demonstrative that may sign you or they may help you to decide whether you will need singular or plural noun. Okay. Demonstrative that can be used for singular nouns are this and that, while for plural nouns, they are these and those. So if you want to say this book, the verb should be in singular. Or must agree with the subject, so the noun should be singular. While when you say those books, the noun should be in plural form. Okay, you have to remember that. I believe you already understand the difference between this and that, right? So this means the noun is near you, is next to you, not far from you. But if you choose that, the noun is far from you. Okay, so these, so see the difference pronunciation. This one you said this, for this one these. Okay, these. It's kind of long and I say z. Right. I hope you can get it later. The next one. So again, I said before that there are regular and irregular forms. For the regular, there are some rules that you have to remember. However, most nouns are just added by s. So you can say book to books. So one book, two books, or I have a home, I'm to homes. Okay, you can do that because most of the time they were just adding s by s or s. Now, however, there will be differences, okay, different rules whether you will add s or es. So the next rule we can see here. So regular or plural forms means the noun just will be added by s or es. Okay, but then to decide whether the noun is added by s, you can see it here. Okay, or whether it is added by es, you can see it here. So there are nouns ending with s, double s, sh, ch, x, or z. Yeah, sorry. Then you must add es, not just s. Es. Okay. For example, the word box, it is ended with x. It's ended with x. Therefore, the plural form is boxes. And for consonant, that ending with y, the I should be changed to I. So, for example, baby, there is no more Y in the plural form because you change the Y to I, babies. And the vowel plus Y, just add S, no ES anymore. So boy become boys. Some words ending with O, so that this is very kind of tricky. There are some rules for that, but you can see it later. And then there's word ending with F or FE. Let's discuss that one by one. So here an example. So S, SS, SH, CH, X, or Z. So here the example of word ending with S, you must add ES. Okay. And here is the word ending with SS, class, you become classes. And this is SH, it become dishes. And watch, CH, become watches. Box, boxes, quiz, quizzes. Okay, so if you have these nouns, you have to add es when you want to make the noun in plural forms. Next, if it's ending with y, I think I've explained them before. Like if it ending with y, sorry, but before the y there is consonant, then you have to change the y to I. You can see it here. So this is the y, and here is the consonant. Change like this, babies. This is the Y and this is the consonant. See this, lady? If you are confused what consonant and vowel means, in Indonesian we call it ya huruf konsonan dan huruf vokal, ya. Jadi konsonan itu huruf mati biasanya kita bilangnya, sedangkan vokal itu huruf a, i, u, e, o gitu ya. Itu yang disebut dengan vowel in English. However, in English, vowels are a lot of, okay, ada banyak number of vowels. You will learn that in phonology, so make sure you learn the variety of pronunciation of these sounds to help you understand. Okay, but for now, to understand in a short, you can just remember the the literal translation, that vowel is huruf vokal atau huruf hidup. Okay. So here in this next, if the noun ends with y, but before this y there is a vowel, then you just add s without changing the y. So boys, keys, toys. So that's noun ending with y. And then there is noun ending with o. And this is kind of tricky because these rules sometimes cannot really apply to all words ending with o. That's why here on the slide you will see that almost always, not always, mostly, okay, because the rules sometimes do not work on certain words. So, for example, if the word ending with O, but before the O there is again a vowel, so you just add S. Perhaps to help you remember is it's kind of difficult if there are three vowels. So you will read it like bamboos, kangaroos, potatoes. Yeah, it's kind of maybe difficult to pronounce. So if there are two vowels like this one and ending with O, you just add S. Okay. But if the word ending with O and before the O there is a consonant, then mostly nowadays, there is ES. Okay, potato, tomato, and tomatoes, potatoes, volcanoes, echoes, etc. Still O, if it's about most musical terms, usually it takes ES. Okay, cellos, a concerto. Sorry, it takes S only. Solos, pianos, studios, or if it is some kind of short forms or abbreviation, singkatan, yeah, you just add S, like photographs, photos, kilograms, kilos, logos, typos, memos, pros. That's noun ending with O. And the last one is noun ending with F or FE. Um, yeah, still there is no how to say it. There is no fixed rules for this one, okay? Because in some nouns you can change the F to V and then add es, but for some how to say, but for some words they just add it by s without changing the f into v. So just see it here. Okay, guys. Perhaps the best way to recognize this one or memorize it. I hope you practice a lot so that you can easily remember or memorize all these roles. After regular, we have irregular plural forms. Okay, this is one of the top subtopic that you will learn for today. It's irregular plural forms. Irregular nouns. I'm sorry. Oh, I sorry. I forget to change it to English. Tidak membentuk plural dengan menambahkan s atau es seperti regular nouns. Yeah. So if regular nouns, you just add is s or es, but for irregular, you don't do that. Okay, they will be changing, and the change might be very different from the basic, from the singular forms, or even doesn't change at all. Don't change at all. At all. Yeah, it should be some don't change at all because this is subject for agreement. Sorry, I forget to fix that. So for example, child, one child. If you want to say two, okay, you don't say two childs, but you say two children. Like this one, a man, one man, and these two men. Okay, men. So this is the vowel, the different pronunciation between the vowel. The only way to remember this one, irregular plural forms, just memorize them. You don't have any other way. Okay, that's yeah the uniqueness of English. For example, here common irregular nouns: man to men, woman to women, to teeth, foot, feet, goose, geese, mouse, mice. So here are the singular, here are the plural. Child to children, oxen, person become people. Okay, so it's not. Uh, yeah, in speaking, perhaps you still it is still acceptable to say two persons, but in writing, use people. Okay, two people. Stimulus, stimuli, crisis, datum, data, criterion, criteria. Okay. There were a lot of things. So just please, you can use your how to say, use your internet. Okay, use your devices to find uh, other common irregular nouns. What I list here are not all. That's why I put etc. etc. because you need to find the other ones. Okay. The example, many people came to the theater to watch the movie. You see here there is word many. Many means yeah more than one, of course. That's why you will use plural form, right? Now the plural of person is people. So many people, not many person. Okay, that's how you use irregular noun. Another example of common irregular noun that has no change. So series. I watched two series this week. It's okay. You don't say series. Okay, please don't do that. And then I bought some fish, not fishes. Species, deer. So my mother bought some fish. Some means more than one, right? Some. That means after some there should be plural form. However, for fish, the plural form still same with the singular form. So you can say some fish, not some fishes. Please remember that. The next subtopic is about. Oh, sorry. There's one more. It's about nouns which are always in plural form. And there will again. I on the first perhaps slide I mentioned that there are some nouns that is only in singular form, and there are some nouns that are only in plural form. And this one, just imagine to help you memorize these words, the noun that are always in plural. Just imagine that thing will not be functional if it's just one. Just remember something like that. Okay, so here, some English nouns are always plural. They do not have a singular form. These nouns usually refer to objects made of two parts, like clothing, tools, or abstract ideas. They take plural verbs or have, were, and etc. Okay, so remember this one. Refer to objects made of two parts. So when the other parts is missing, the object or the noun will not be functional. So for example, you say scissors, glasses, trousers, pants. You can't imagine to use scissors that only one has one side, right? Or glasses. It won't be like glasses that we know if it's only one. Okay, like one part of it works. Just like trousers. Have you ever seen someone wearing trousers with just one hole for the foot? I don't think so, right? So here you say the scissors are on the table. Yeah, for this one because it's plural, there will always be s. Scissors, glasses, trousers, pants, shoes, socks, right? So that's our nouns that are always in plural form. So please remember. Next subtopic is what types of nouns. So there are types of nouns. There are a lot of types of nouns. However, the base that how to divide these types of noun are different. So the first types of noun that I will explain to you, they are divided based on naming specificity. Okay, we call it proper and common nouns. When I teach you about writing, I have mentioned about this one, proper noun and common noun. So if it is proper noun, then you will always use capital letter to write them down, right? But if it's common noun, you don't have to. So here, what is proper nouns? Proper nouns are names of specific people, places, or things, and they are always written in capital letter. Okay, someone's name, a place's name, a building's name, a city's name, or whatever kinds of name. When it is a name, then because when something has a name, that means it's specific, right? So, for example, Joko Widodo is the president. Just president is just common noun because it doesn't refer to any specific. But if you say President Joko Widodo, that refers to the name, right? Joko Widodo. And Hasanuddin University, South Sulawesi. Instagram is the name of application, right? It's the name of a platform. So you have to always use capital letter. YouTube, WhatsApp, and etc. Well, common nouns different from proper nouns, which specify something's or someone's name. Common noun just refer to general items rather than specific ones. They are not capitalized, okay, unless it's the first word of a sentence. president, university, city, platform, social media, classes, students, parents. They are just common nouns. So you don't have to write them in capital letter. Um, so let's see. Here is some kind of exercise for you. So there is one sentence. Last month, Rina went to Makassar with her mother to visit her grandmother who has been hospitalized at Siloam Hospital. So you see here, can you find all the proper nouns in this sentence? I'll let you think about 3 seconds or 5 seconds. Yes, that's all now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I hope you have the same answer with this slide. Yeah, so the proper nouns are Rina, Makassar, and Siloam Hospital. Okay, because Rina is the name of person, Makassar is the name of a city, and Siloam Hospital is the name of a hospital. The rest of the words in that sentence are called common nouns. I do hope you understand about the difference between proper and common noun because they are very important in writing. Okay, because when you refer to something specific, someone's name's again, something's name, then you have to use capital letter. Next is types of noun based on physical existence. So we have abstract and concrete nouns. Okay, it's based on a physical existence. So if the nouns names ideas, qualities, concept that cannot be seen by your eyes, then it's abstract noun. Happiness, courage, success, love. Most of the time, these words are how to say is singular. Okay, most of the times. And then concrete nouns, which nouns that can be perceived through our senses. So we can touch it, we can see it, we can mostly seen, right? So park, school, beach, city, we can touch it. So that's concrete noun. Abstract concrete, not really necessary for sentence, but you need to know the difference. Oh yeah, you need to know what abstract, because abstract perhaps can be singular. Okay, it's always singular. Always. Yeah, let's see later, because abstract most of the time will be counted as uncountable now. So this material is the last subtopic that you will learn for this recording. This is countable and uncountable noun. Countable and uncountable noun. This division based on ability to count. Okay, countable means a word that you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's also called count nouns. If you have another sources, for example, another source or other sources, other books, for example, and they said they write count nouns, it's the same with countable nouns. Okay. So they refer to things that can be counted individually. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It can be singular and plural. So if it's singular, then you will use one, right? But if it's plural, then you will use 2, 3, many, some, several. So be careful on this one. Okay, countable nouns. Next is uncountable noun. Uncountable noun is also called non-count nouns. Okay. They refer to things that cannot be counted individually. They do not have plural forms. Remember this one? They do not have plural forms and is always treated as a singular form. So uncountable noun is always singular, while countable noun can be singular, can be plural. It will depend on the quantifier. So here are the uncountable noun that you need to recognize, you need to, let's say, just memorize it. But if you can grab the meaning of uncountable, which means you cannot count them, then it will be helpful for you to differentiate between countable and uncountable nouns. So for example, sugar means gula, right? Can you count them one by one? It will be difficult, right? Like wasting time. Why do you need to count them one by one? It's not like it doesn't make sense to count them one by one, because when you use it, you will just say a spoonful of sugar, not one piece of sugar, right? So that's example of uncountable now. Just like hair. Will you count your hair? I don't think so, right? So here are some um how to say some criterias that can be counted as non-countable noun. Okay, so whole groups made up of similar items, fluids, solids, gases, particles, abstractions, time, like time. You've said 2 years, it still count as uncountable. Okay, you will see difference later. And then languages, fields of study, recreation, activities, in natural phenomena. Okay, so we have phenomenon, we have phenomena. So phenomenon is the singular, phenomena is the plural. Okay, so please remember this one. You can just go back or just do screenshot for this part and then you will remember it later. Okay, so uncountable noun. So you see the difference because it's always singular. Uh, you can't count it. So if you want to say, I want to drink tea, you can say some tea. But tea is not about some tea, right? It's about when you drink a tea, you will drink it in a cup or in a bottle, in a glass, right? So that's how you use uncountable noun when you want to say how much do you want to take it. Okay, bread is solid, benda padat gitu ya. We call it. Kita sebutnya benda padat, just like wood. So if you want to say bread itu tidak banyak gitu ya, you say a slice of bread, a piece of bread, a pack of bread. Okay, you have to mention something like that. Okay, just like sugar, you cannot say I need one sugar because you can't count sugar just one by one, right? You will see a spoonful of sugar. Um, you don't drink too, yeah, something like that. There will be quantifiers, okay, that you have to know to decide whether this one fits to be paired with countable or uncountable now. So here is like the quantifiers. You have to remember this one, guys, because there are some words that can only be used for countable nouns, and there are some quantifiers that can only be used for uncountable nouns, but there are some quantifiers that can be used for both. Okay, so please remember this. And yeah, to quantify uncountable nouns, we often use containers or units of measurement. A kilogram of rice, right? Your rice is uncountable noun, but if you want to say like butuh satu satu bukan kalau kita bilang beras bukan satu beras ya, but like say satu karung kah atau 1 kilo, so you say a kilogram of rice. So that's what we call container or units of measurement. A glass of water, a piece of cake, right? Because the cake, yeah, cake like bolu itu kan just like bread. Okay, so we want to say sepotong, you say a slice or a piece. It's more like a piece of cake. So that's quantifier that you need to remember. The last thing is about types of noun is collective noun. Collective just come from the word collective, means it's in a collection, and if you have a collection there must be not only one, right? However, collective nouns is considered as singular in form, although the meaning, when you say collective nouns in your mind there will be like a kind of group, there will be some members in that, but that you see it as one unite, as a one unit. Okay, in general, collective nouns are treated as singular in American English, but if the tests, for example, are in British English, then it can be plural, it can be singular. So if the group acts as one unit, you count it as singular, But if the individuals in that group do something differently, for example, or act separately, they are counted as plural nouns. Okay. There are some words considered as collective noun: team, herd, flock, family, etc., like audience as well. Um, you can see it here. So if you see that the team is winning the match, so the team winning the match because they are united, right? That's why in this sentence, in this context, the team is considered as singular because they do it together. The team is winning the match. However, when it says the team are arguing with each other, the team are arguing with each other, it is considered as plural because the members in that team, they do act differently, and in the end they become like they are arguing. Okay? So the team here is not about the team as a whole, but is the members in that team. Therefore, the team in here is considered as individuals, as the members. Therefore, it's plural. Okay, or you don't have to use s in here because the members are in still in one team, but because the members doing something differently, not in the united, so they are considered as single, as plural. Okay, yeah. So that's the end of the first part of nouns. So in this uh, recording, I do hope you can understand 3 points, 3 things. First one is about types of nouns, especially about countable and uncountable noun. And then there are singular and plural, and also irregular plural nouns. Please make sure that you understand all these topics because all the quizzes will test you about the knowledge of these 3 subtopics. If you still have any question, you can ask in the WhatsApp group, and I will try to explain or prepare your question before we have Jimmy class. Okay. Thank you for watching until the end of the recording. I hope you find it useful. Remember to find another or other sources to help you having more uh, having more knowledge or information about the topics that I explained previously. I just explained. That's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning, good afternoon, or good evening.